I'm Jorj Morgan, and today we're going to talk about Brussels sprouts. Do not turn off that video. You're going to really like these. This is a good way to do it. Most of the time, I think when you get a Brussels sprout and you don't like it, it's because it's a little chewy, it's a little hard, because people don't really know how to cook them. So I'm going to teach you a secret about Brussels sprouts. We're going to blanch them first. Before we do anything else with them, we're going to blanch them. Now, blanching is a technique that simply puts mostly a green vegetable, into boiling water and then transfers it to an ice water bath, and that stops the cooking and it really keeps the green color, which is really good. So we're going to take this Brussels sprout and we're going to just cut off the little tough end. You don't have to take the outer leaves off. The outer leaves that are going to fall off are going to fall off in the water, so you don't have to really worry about it. And I'm going to blanch them in boiling water. But you can do this if you're like really short on time. You can just simply put these into a bowl, put a little water on the bottom, cover it with a plastic wrap, and stick them in your microwave for three minutes or more, and it's just fine. A lot of these come in steamer bags. Now you can get a Brussels sprout in a steamer bag, and you simply just steam it and they're done. Well, that's a great way to blanch them for any other preparation also. So you can do that too. Any way you want to do it. The important thing is you want to cook them till they're a little soft in the center first and then finish your preparation. So we're going to go over here to my boiling water. You don't have to salt it. You don't have to do anything, because your preparation for this later is will be where all your seasonings are. And we're just going to pop them in there. There they go. That's how easy it is. And we're going to pop the top on here for another, it's just a matter of getting them soft. So you only want to do it for maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You don't want to cook them all the way through if you're going to cook them again in another preparation, which we're going to do. So while they're cooking, the first thing we're going to do with our Brussels sprouts is make roasted vegetables that include Brussels sprouts. I was at this restaurant in Charleston a couple of years ago, and on their menu as an appetizer was Brussels sprouts. Now I was with 3 moms and 3 14-year-old little girls, and I said, let's order the Brussels sprouts as an appy. And they all looked at me like I'm out of my mind. So of course, instead of getting them for the table, I got one. And this cute little bowl came out, and it's filled with these charred Brussels sprouts and this really good sauce. And it was like kind of like if you have a bloomin' onion sauce, at Outback, and you get that sauce, that great sauce. It was kind of like that sauce, like a remoulade kind of saucy thing. And so you took those Brussels sprouts and you dipped them in the sauce, and I ate them. And I'll tell you what, they were so tender inside and crispy on the outside. They were just sensational. So I got the 14-year-olds to taste them and the moms, and before you know it, we ordered 2 more for the table. So it just goes to show you, if you make something good and make it right, everybody's going to really enjoy it. So I'm going to check our Brussels sprouts, see how they're doing. Ooh, nice and green. Perfect. So I have a bowl of ice, a little water in it, just like that, and we're just simply going to transfer them here into that to stop the cooking and to maintain that green color. Now, this is really good stuff, what's left in this pot. We'll come over and show you this in a minute, but what this basically is water that's absorbed some of the nutrients from the Brussels sprouts. So we're going to use that water to cook some pasta in a little bit, but keep that water, don't put that water out. So see how pretty and green they are? The difference between this hard little devil and this kind of mushy kind of little devil is night and day. So now we're going to take these, and I'm going to show you a really fun trick with roasted vegetables. I have some that I've already blanched, and here's another little secret. You can do this and then stick them in the fridge. These will be good for a couple days. So if you have some time and you want to do some blanching or food menu preppers, whatever, do that. You can cook them now, put them in the fridge, and then when you're ready to roast them, just pull them out of the fridge out of a bag. So I'm going to put my Brussels on my pan, and what I have here is some cauliflower, some sweet potatoes, my Brussels, and some carrots. So normally what you would do is salt and pepper and olive oil them, stick them in the oven and call it a day. Not us. We're gonna seasoning these with 4 different seasonings. Each vegetable is gonna get its own sort of seasoning. And then when we bring them all together, they're all gonna have their little unique taste. So it's really kind of fun. So first we're gonna drizzle it with olive oil. And very generously. And so I have here thyme and a lemon. And for me, I think this is what I'm gonna put in my Brussels sprouts. So I'm gonna squeeze a little lime juice over top. And then sprinkle a little thyme right over top. Did you hear my dog right there? She's saying, oh man, that sounds good. I would have that. Yeah, that's really good. And then for these carrots, I'm gonna do my favorite little thing that I do with carrots. A little bit of brown sugar. Don't tell anybody about the sugar. It's a little secret. And then I'm gonna add to that a little paprika, a little more of the color, and a little bit of curry. So it's like kind of a sweet kind of curry carrot flavor. And then for my sweet potatoes, I think I'll do a little chili powder. I like chili powder and sweet potatoes. I think they go hand in hand. And I'll add a little cinnamon, just a little bit of more, it's actually a little bit more heat, but the smell's gonna be fabulous too. And for my cauliflower, I think I'll do some oregano and maybe some garlic powder and onion powder. That'll give it a really different kind of flavor. So I'm seasoning each one a little differently, but in the end, it's all gonna kind of blend together and you're gonna say, oh my gosh, what a mishmash, but not really. So we're just gonna top this with more olive oil. Get those flavors right glued on to those veggies. And then a little salt and pepper. Remember, I salt everything at the end. You don't want the salt to dry out your food. And it can even dry out a vegetable. I mean, it really can, but salting it at the end controls everything, which is great. And now we pop this into a 400-degree oven. And the magic happens with our lovely roasted veggies. Don't these look good? Oh. Everything is nice and soft and just a little golden on the outside, and all those seasonings have taken place. And now this Brussels sprout, which we have blanched, okay, is soft in the center. My knife just went right through it. And a little coated on the outside. So the flavor's on the outside, but it's nice and soft on the inside. Soft. Good. That's what you really want. And thing 1, roasted vegetables. For another really good Brussels sprout dish, I'm gonna take those Brussels that I've blanched. Say that 12 times. Brussels that I've blanched, and then I'm going to shave them. So I'm going to turn them into smaller pieces. This is like the center of a Brussels. So I've got all of these that I've shaved. Now there's lots of ways to do this, but notice how tender they are because they've been blanched. There's lots of ways to do this. You can do this using what they call a handheld mandolin. I don't have one to show you, but it looks like a grater, only it has one blade, and you would go like that to grate it. Or you can use a full-size mandolin, but that's going to be tough because these things are small and you're going to cut off the top of your fingers, so don't do that. I have a slicing blade on my food processor, and that's what I did. I just simply put a handful of them in the food processor, push the little doohickey down, and out come all of these. So what we're going to make is a Brussels sprout Caesar salad, and it's going to be warm. And you're saying to me, ew, I don't really want that, but you really do. I went to this really good restaurant with some girlfriends in Palm Beach. Okay, that kind of says it all right there. A chef in Palm Beach made this. And I thought, I'm not gonna really want to eat that. And he made it, and I wanted to eat it, and I wanted to eat it so much that I came home and created it and made it for everybody I knew, and they all wanted to eat it. So don't turn your nose up at it. It really is pretty good. So we're gonna start with a pan that has some, what this is here, some bacon that I've diced. See, it's nice and hot, nice and hot, nice and hot. And then some onions. And so that's just browning in there a little bit. The bacon's nice and crunchy. The onions are a little golden. This is exactly what you want. I'm going to turn the heat down. Then we're going to put a little olive oil in there. And then we're going to put in the Brussels sprouts. Remember, these are the shaved Brussels sprouts. And we're warming this, so this really doesn't have to be all that much over the heat right now. We're just going to warm this around. So come over here with me and you can see how we do this. We've got that, and we've got the heat turned way down. And we're just going to cook the Brussels sprouts a little bit more because remember, at this point, they're just really blanched. They're not cooked all the way through. To this, we're going to add a little salt and pepper because those blanched Brussels sprouts have not been seasoned. But we do have the seasoning from the bacon and the onions, so we don't want to overdo it. So just a little salt and a little pepper. And so in a Caesar salad, you've got a couple components. You've got romaine lettuce, you've got croutons, you got Parmesan cheese, and of course you have Caesar salad dressing. So now I'm going to turn this totally off, and what I'm going to add is a little bit of my, I want to call it, almost famous Caesar salad dressing. Just enough to coat the Brussels. Then we're going to add some toasted breadcrumbs. I toasted these breadcrumbs in a little bit of butter, and that's kind of like the crouton component of the Caesar salad. And we're going to add these. Now, to make these breadcrumbs, I took brioche buns, hamburger buns, and then added them to a bunch of butter. And I'll tell you what, you could like snack on this. This is really sinfully delicious. And the Brussels are cooked. And you can smell the salad dressing. And we're gonna come over here. Come over here. I'm gonna transfer this to a really pretty plate. And here you have it. A very nice, warm, Caesar salad with Brussels sprouts. I'm gonna add a little more cheese on the top. I'm gonna put a little black pepper over it and onto the plate. Caesar salad with Brussels sprouts. It's warm, it's spicy, and it's delicious. It really is good. I'm not lying to you. You really have to try this. I mean, you really have to try it. Okay, I'm gonna eat more of this. We get ready for thing 3 with Brussels sprouts. Coming right up. Third dish with Brussels sprouts. Again, I'm gonna use the blanched, shaved Brussels sprouts, and I'm gonna put them together in a pasta dish. And the dish is based on spaghetti carbonara, only we're not gonna do any of that. Well, we're gonna do the carbonara part. And basically, carbonara is a dish that was invented by some chefs that were sitting around after service on a night when they were hungry. I think chefs don't eat anything during the day, and then they eat at night, late, and they just raided what was ever in the kitchen and came up with a carbonara recipe, which is basically bacon and eggs with pasta. So we're gonna kind of steal some of that, gonna add a little veg, and see what we come up with. So we're starting with onions and bacon. So we put the onions and bacon in the pan, and I put a little olive oil, and we let that toast. Bacon gets a little crisp, gets a nice flavor, and then we're gonna add our shaved Brussels sprouts. Now, you're saying to me, wait, we just did this. I know, but we can do several things that start out the same and end up quite differently. That's what cooking's all about. Take what you have and put it with things that you're hungry for. Bacon and eggs, pasta, Caesar salad, it all works. So we're gonna sprinkle some of these in here and we're gonna go back to the stove. So come with me. There's our Brussels sprouts. That's just cooking slightly because remember, they're only blanched at this point. We're gonna season them again with a little salt. Sprout water I told you about at the beginning of the video. Well, I cooked my pasta in that water. Number one, it was already hot. That saved me some time. And number two, you just get all of that really, really good nutrients that had leached out into the water. We're gonna put them back into the pasta. So after, I wanted to tell you the secret. See this boiling water? See this wooden spoon? If ever you're putting boiling water on a stovetop and you don't want it to boil over when you're not paying attention to it, put a wooden spoon like that and it won't boil over. There is science to this. I have no idea what it is, but it always works. So somebody can tell me whatever the science is to that, just write me and let me know and I'll add that the next time, but it does work. So while we're cooking this, we're getting, our bacon's getting nice and crisp. Our Brussels sprouts are cooking the rest of the way. And now we add the pasta. I'm using Orecchiette. Orecchiette pasta is kind of a circle. They call it Orecchiette, it's called little ears. And this works great for this recipe because the little ears catch all the sauce. And that's really what you want, all the sauce. So we're putting our pasta in. And now it sounds good. Mix that up a little bit. Turn the heat down. That looks yummy just the way it is. But we're going to add a sauce. And this is where the egg part of the bacon and eggs comes in. We mix 2 eggs with some cream and some cheese. And just whisk that all together and we're just going to pour that in. And that's going to create the sauce. Now, with all pasta dishes, what you want to do is the consistency of your sauce is the way you want it. You want it thick, you want it fine. You want it thin, you want it fine. But you can thicken it or thin it with the pasta water. And remember, ours is enhanced pasta water because we've already used it to cook the Brussels sprouts. So we just add a little bit of a ladleful or 2 of pasta water to our sauce to get it to the consistency that we really want it. And that's looking perfect. I mean, who doesn't want this? And how simple was that? I mean, that came together in no time at all. Yummy, creamy bacon and egg pasta dish. So we'll come over here, move it to our serving bowl. Ooh, yum. You can see all the cheese is sticky. See the little stringy cheese sticking to the bowl? Oh, it's yummy. That's good. Now, then we're gonna top it with more cheese and a little cooked bacon to remind you of what you're eating. And maybe a little bit of parsley just to garnish it. Some flat leaf parsley. Give it a little freshness. And there you have it. Thing 3 with Brussels sprouts. Orecchiette pasta with Brussels sprouts. Oh, you're gonna love it. Oh, you really are. Let's see. Let's see if I'm gonna love it. Oh, I'm loving it. Well, that's it for today. Eat your veggies, no matter how you want to make them. See ya.